see, as a Liverpool fan, I just can't seem to catch a break this year. I mean, winning the Premier League aside, it's been a horrible year. Football wise. Let me put it that way. You know, from Trent leaving for Madrid, Diogo Jota passing away, so many of our players kind of coming and leaving. And now this issue with Salah, and that's what I wanted to just, you know, kind of go through, because for me it's clear that the line has been drawn in the sand. And you know what? Let me just say that I didn't need to have Mo Salah do what he did the other day. I don't think any fan here was counting on something like that this season, that your top player, your club legend, would come out and very strongly accuse the club of throwing him under the bus. Now, there's going to be lots of videos out there where people are going to be, rightly so, going to be making lots of content around it. I mean, we are just the club that feeds the social media content machine, right? There's never a dull moment as being a Liverpool fan. And I can understand where Salah's coming from, right? I can understand where he feels he is within the pantheon of Liverpool legends and Premier League legends. I think in terms of the Premier League, him and Gerrard are kind of neck and neck. For me, Gerrard still towers above everything else that Salah has done. But that's no slant at Salah. Let me just be clear about that. But I think over the last couple of years, you know, we have relied so much on Salah in terms of just his output, right? As a pure goal-scoring threat, as a pure just the numbers, you would bet your house on Mo Salah getting you a goal. And I think that was the reason also why he earned that contract extension, right? At the beginning of this year, I think it was April this year. So he earned that contract extension. He's taken us to a Premier League title number 20, and so me coming into the season, the new season, I was obviously optimistic. We had plans to sign all of these, you know, marquee signings and game changers in Liverpool, and Liverpool was going to be different and switch it up. So naturally, I thought that it was going to be a case of, well, look, Mo, you know what? We banged for your contract extension. You got 2 years. But ultimately, how I kind of imagined it was how he was going to be, how he was last season, where he was just assisting and helping other players pick up the numbers, and consequently, he got better as well. And he started to bang in lots of goals as well, naturally. So I just thought that was going to be the same. It was going to be business as usual, where you're just going to, you know, continue on and blood in the new players and make sure that the new players are settled in, him being part of this leadership, him being part of this leadership group. So it's fair to say it didn't go as planned, right? A number of players, not only Salah, a number of players have fallen off the season. We could name them if we don't want to throw anyone under the bus. We can name them: Konate, Van Dijk to a large degree. Cody Gakpo has fallen off. McAllister doesn't look his same self anymore. And sometimes Ryan Gravenberch has been inconsistent. So, top that with a raft of new players coming in. Top that with Diogo Jota as passing. Past that was Trent leaving. Everything was up in the air and everything was just fucking all over the place. But even with all of those kind of things that I'm looking at, I still look to Salah as one of the leaders, as one of the people who could help us get out of this really sticky situation. And you know, when we started the season, Salah was playing week in, week out. And there were parts of me that was getting very frustrated with Salah, because I was like, you're in this team, but what are you doing for 90 minutes? If you're not scoring, what are you doing for 90 minutes? And so these things were in my head, but I'm like, you know what? He's a legend. He deserves to have the time because we need Salah to score. And so a striker needs to just be there. But as the season has kind of gone on, I started to notice a couple of things that made me think that he's maybe not on board with the new system, even with the players that we bought. You just have to listen to him at the beginning of the season where he didn't really rate any of the players that we bought. But I just pushed it aside and I said, you know what? We have bigger issues to worry about than that. We need to figure out our defense. So I kind of put it to mind, and Salah kept playing, and we were all screaming out, like, why can't Chiesa play? Why can't Chiesa play? We think that Chiesa's going to play, and we're all shouting at Arne Slot, please play Chiesa. Now, look, what we see Chiesa do in 20 minutes, maybe Arne Slot thinks of that and says, well, it's great for 20 minutes, but I need someone I can rely on for 90 minutes. So, is that player Szoboszlai? Is that player Mohamed Salah? Is that player Chiesa? And obviously, Slot decided to stick with Mo Salah. But we all knew that Salah wasn't tracking back. We could all see it. He looked disinterested. He didn't look as sharp. He didn't look as hungry or intense as he normally was. So, and with things going as it was, the manager was like trying to left, right, and center, spinning out of his head, trying to figure out what is the best way to do it. And he wants to keep his performing players because you want to reward players that are performing. So you need to keep Dominic Szoboszlai in the team. Now, obviously, all of this is now culminated into the fact that Mo Salah then decided that he was going to draw a line in the sand. It's me or Slot. This is it. You can chop it up and you can throw the shade and you can do all of that kind of stuff. But ultimately, what Salah has said is like, you choose me, your club legend. I deserve the respect that I deserve. Okay, fair enough. Oh, it's Slot. Which puts the club in a very, very difficult position. And it puts the club in a position where if they go with Salah and they say, yeah, Salah, you're right, you know what, you're irreplaceable, we're going to sack Slot. It sends the message. It sends a very, very clear message that player power has taken over Liverpool. If the club sides with Slot, it sends a clear message. I don't know what clear message it sends, but it sends a message to Mo Salah that he's not wanted. And I think both things can be untrue. Because on the one side, Slot would still want Mo Salah. Slot knows Salah is a fucking baller. Slot has got different issues to sort out. But if there are issues in terms of what the director of football and director of sports at Fenway Sports Group, if they want to move Salah along, okay, it's entirely the club's prerogative. The only thing that we have to decide is that how are we going to say goodbye? Because let me tell you here, if Salah decides to leave, if he's going to go, if they're going to sell him, I want to say goodbye to this guy. We've said goodbye to some whack-ass players in the past who played for Liverpool. Salah deserves a send-off. If he's going to go, I don't want him to go. But if it's as he's saying he wants to leave, fine, let it be. But I'm just disappointed that I could not give him the send-off that I so desperately want to give, that a Liverpool legend deserves. Now, Salah has made this himself. Let's be real. All of this has been calculated. He understands how it works. He understands how powerful his voice is on social media. It's why he came out end of last season and asked the fans to help him get a new contract. So he understands his power in the media, understands his power in social media with the fans. So to do that, after we dropped points against Leeds, I think was very calculating. Had we won that game against Leeds, he doesn't come out. And that is my issue. Whatever your issue is, Salah, right? And here's where I want to kind of like end it. I'm gonna wrap this up in a bow. If Salah had these grievances, I would understand that, right? But walk away. Go to AFCON. Clear your head. Get some perspective, right? If the team is performing better without you, then you've kept quiet. You're not there, so how can they say? But if the team performs worse without you, that means that you're not the scapegoat. It's just the manager, right? So it's a win-win over there. But to come out like this, at this time, a week before he has to leave for AFCON, to drop that grenade, that nuke, he set up that nuke inside the tent. I cannot forgive him for that. At least not in the moment. No, let's say forgive him. I'm still very pissed off at him for doing that. I understand footballers are fucking prima donnas and they're egotistical assholes. But I don't think Mo Salah is an egotistical asshole. I think he feels really hurt and slighted by it, and so had an emotional outburst. But now, the cat's out of the bag. You, Mo Salah, have now forced Liverpool to make a decision. And I don't think Liverpool is going to let him dictate what happens to their coach and their club. FSG is not going to do that. So FSG is sitting in a slippery slope between, look, no one is going to win here. Mo Salah's not going to win because we are not going to be able to give him the send-off that he deserves. Half of the fan is going to be pissed off with him. Half of the fan pissed off at Slot and the things. So nobody wins. So for me, it's like you know, it's like one of those, it's like those emails that you send really fucking angry the night before. And if you had just waited and slept on it, you would have seen, hang on, maybe it's not that bad. Salah sent that email out, and there's no take-you-backsies. And unfortunately, I don't think Fenway Sports Group is the kind of people that's going to be dictated by us footballer. They will want to keep that player power in check. Because once you open that floodgates, it's over for you as a club, right? And I respect that. It's fucked. It's fucked, people. Again, let me say, I just feel that for me, what's most disappointing is that I have a feeling that we are not, this is the last we're going to see. Unless Arne Slot says, keeps his powder dry and plays it smart and says, you know what, we're not going to make a decision now. Salah, go to AFCON, cool your head, right? If you come back from a tournament and you still feel harsh and aggrieved, then we can talk about what's going to happen next. So everybody just needs to take a fucking breath, put the guns back in the holster, and realize we're all in this together, man. And I think the only way, Dominic Szoboszlai said it the best, ironically an hour before Mo Salah dropped it. He said things like this you need to keep indoors. We all have to look at ourselves. Fans, coaches, players, all of us. It hasn't gone as we planned. All of our hopes and expectations have all gone. But are we in a really bad place? We're 2 points off fourth place. And I see us playing better week in, week out. I see us, when that transfer window goes up, the first thing I want to see is that Liverpool has signed 2 fucking centre-backs. Okay? Good ones. So we can actually start to defend better again. But anyway, that's a conversation for next time. I'm going to leave it over here, guys. You know, as disappointed as I am with what Salah did, I completely understand. I was really ranting yesterday. I was very upset, like everybody. And I was swearing and everything like that. But now a day later, I've had a bit of time to think about it and to absorb it. I still think that there's a way out of here if there's still an off-ramp here for Salah. And that off-ramp, and for Slot, is let's give Salah, look, if you don't want to pick Salah, that's fine. Don't pick him, right? But I think there's a special case here, Slot. And you need to massage it a little bit, right? Sorry, that was a little fly there. You need to massage this a little bit. Sometimes what you got to do is you got to just play to the egos a little bit, Slot. Okay? We know why you've been doing it. So give him in the Champions League against Inter, let him travel with the team. Let him play in the starting lineup. Let him show. Maybe that's going to push him. And then on the weekend at Brighton, let him play. And if after these 2 games he's still hot-headed and he still wants to go, well, that's fine. At least, Slot, what you did is you left a door open for him to come in. And that's all I hope. What happens in the January transfer window, I don't know. But what I do know, what we all do as football supporters, when players move on, we move on. I love Salah for the rest of my life. I will always appreciate what he did. I just didn't think it would end like this. But if he does, we move. Anyways, Reds, let me know what you guys say. Fuck, it's been a long time since I've been here. I've been working on TikTok. But I appreciate you guys, those that are still here and to listen to me rant. I'm going to come back onto YouTube. The TikTok experiment was a failure. I cannot condense my thoughts down into 1 minute. I cannot do that. But anyway, but maybe I'll make another video where I'll make this and people can check out a shorter version of what I just said over here. But that's it. Anyways, Reds, you take care. Have a wonderful day. And I'll see you at the next big thing that happens in Liverpool season.